Yeah, just 11 days until the Premier League season begins, but will Alexander Isak still be a Newcastle player? Well, let's go live to Pete Graves at the club's training ground. Good morning to you, Pete. Great to see you. Look, put us up to date with what the latest is with the Newcastle's star striker.
Thanks, James. Yeah, well, the latest is he's behind me here at the training ground. Alexander Isak arrived in the last 20 minutes or so. I'm keeping a close eye. I'm not ignoring you, James. I'm keeping a close eye on the road behind me here because cars have just started to emerge as well. So I'm seeing who may join Isak here at the training ground. But yeah, it was unclear really whether Isak would be here today. The rest of the squad, plus Eddie Howe, have been travelling back from South Korea overnight. They had a pre-season game with Tottenham yesterday, drew 1-1. They landed early this morning. It's our understanding that the players have got the day off, a bit of time to recover from that trip. Of course, the plane was actually delayed a little bit as well. So you'd imagine there's going to be a tired manager and some tired players there. Alexander Isak, though, of course, wasn't on that plane. He wasn't on the trip. A thigh injury is what we were told. Although, as we've been reporting, we understand that Isak is keen to explore his transfer options this summer. So he's not been out there with them, and he's decided to come down here to the training ground. Whether or not he's here to speak with the manager or whether he's just working on his fitness with this injury, of course, he's reportedly being nursing the thigh problem, remains to be seen. But we're keeping a close eye on who else might turn up here. But of course, the facts are that we know Liverpool are interested in signing Alexander Isak. They had a £110 million bid rejected by Newcastle United on Friday. Newcastle have then made their own moves in the market. They've gone in for Benjamin Sesko, a fee of around £70 million being discussed with RB Leipzig, and Newcastle seeing Sesko as someone who could come to the club and well, not only play alongside Alexander Isak or replace him if Isak was to be sold. Sesko, just 22 years of age, a big striker, imposing character on the field as well, and someone that Newcastle United would see as a potential replacement down the line for Isak were they to cash in. But the big news, yes, this morning, James, is that Isak is here. He is at the training ground, the first time we've seen him here in some time. Like we say, he's been training in Real Sociedad, his old club, and Eddie Howe admitting that he found that out through the media, which tells its own story, doesn't it really, about how much they've maybe spoken in the past weeks. But just some interesting quotes from Eddie Howe as well that reached us in the last 24 hours from this camp in South Korea. He told the Daily Mail, "You have to earn the right to train with us. We are Newcastle United." He said that the player has a responsibility to be part of a team and part of a squad. He talked about having to act in the right way to play at this football club. And he said also, key here at the end, no player can expect to act poorly and then train with the group as normal. I think that's very key, isn't it, when you look at the situation over the past few weeks, and Alexander Isak not being part of this trip to Asia with the rest of the players and Eddie Howe. He's well behind now on pre-season, but he is here now at the training ground, looking to maybe make up for lost time. We're going to keep a close eye on this. Clearly, the coming hours and days are absolutely key. And we're just going to have a look here as another car makes its way down towards the training centre here. These are the live pictures now as we try and have a look. Of course, blacked out windows, but we'll wait and see who was in that car. Could that be the manager, Eddie Howe, arriving here right now? We'll keep you right up to date, but it's all moving here at Newcastle United training ground.
Now let's get to Liverpool, and the future of striker Darwin Nunez looks to be up in the air. The Athletic are reporting that Al Hilal have made him their priority target. Right, Dan, why would Liverpool be open to offloading him?
Well, I think there's a few reasons, Tom. I think, first of all, overall, since he made that £85 million move in June 2022, I don't think we can necessarily say with confidence that move has necessarily worked out for all parties. I don't think Darwin Nunez has necessarily improved his finishing in front of goal. And we also saw how Slot played last season as well. The likes of Luis Diaz played in that 9 role. We also Cody Gakpo as well many a time. But we've also seen Liverpool be incredibly efficient selling in the last few years as well, raising so many funds. Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich, for example, in just the last few weeks. And as we're talking about this potential move for Alexander Isak, it's not a bad thing for Liverpool to raise more funds for a move like that. If you're looking to spend over £120 million, if they do try and match what Newcastle are trying to ask for Isak. What I would say for Darwin Nunez, though, for the player side of things, Al Hilal, I mean, he has some pretty decent service there with the likes of Ruben Neves, João Cancelo as well. So there's some Premier League well-known players, former players, who would give him pretty good service, I think, out in Saudi Arabia.
And he played for a great coach as well in Simone Inzaghi. And Inzaghi's believed to have really kind of pushed this. And I think he's somebody that can be frustrating, but I think he's a thrilling player. I think he's really dynamic. You never quite know what you're going to get with him. And I think he's contributed. You know, Liverpool have won a Premier League, they've won trophies, and he's contributed to that. But it does feel like the end of the road. He needs something fresh. He needs to be a main man somewhere. And Liverpool want to reinvest those funds elsewhere.
Yeah, they've got signed Hugo Ekitike as well. Do you presume that he goes in above Nunez anyway?
Yes, absolutely. I think he is a sign of the new Liverpool. See, the old Liverpool was pretty good, winning the Premier League. But I think Arne Slot's thinking about combination play. I think he's thinking about how you can break down teams that are quite deep and want to defend against Liverpool, especially at Anfield. And if you look at Ekitike, he's quite unusual in some ways. He's very mobile. He's very creative. He's quite happy to be a facilitator. He's not like Roberto Firmino. Nobody's quite like Bobby Firmino. But where he's similar is that he's quite happy to be a member of the collective. It's not about his ego. He likes getting assists just as much as goals. And what we saw last season was he dovetailed beautifully with Omar Marmoush. And then when Marmoush made the move to Manchester City mid-season, he was still able to step up and play more of a senior role to help Frankfurt get over the line and qualify for the Champions League.
Just quickly on that point, Kevin. So if Liverpool do bring in another number 9, if it is Isak or someone else, where do you say Ekitike playing in that system? Could he be moved out on the left? Or
he could. And I think Liverpool are going to need this depth, and I think that's something that they've recognised. If they want to go deep in the Champions League, win the Premier League again, win other tournaments, they want to be in a situation where, you know, if they were to bring in another striker, if they were to bring in Isak, well, if he has injury problems, which he has had, you need another top 9, and he can be that. But also, you could play in different ways. Ekitike can drift out wide. He can be put on that left-hand side. You've got depth with Cody Gakpo there. And what we saw with Luis Diaz and Gakpo to some extent is that rotation anyway in that forward line. Wirtz is going to help with that as well because he'll knit the whole thing together.
exciting if you're a Liverpool fan.
Do you think this is going to happen? Is he going to leave Newcastle for Liverpool before the start of the
My
season?
gut tells me the money is on offer is so high. He said he wants to leave. Look, Liverpool have done their business so incredibly well. Arne Slot has earned the opportunity to be backed and backed in a real good way. And Liverpool have sold and bought and balanced the books and kept themselves away from PSR really, really well. I think it'll happen.
Will we see him in a Liverpool shirt opening night?
I think invariably, yes. I do feel sorry for Newcastle because they've been put in a position. He's got 3 years left on his contract. Doesn't say a lot about contract stability, does it? That I can understand why he'd want to go to Liverpool, but at the same time, it gives Newcastle a problem. They've got to find someone to replace him. That'll be the trigger whether he goes or not, I think.
Benjamin Šeško apparently is the one they